There is a number. Most people never find out what it is, not because it's hidden, not because it's complicated, but because nobody ever sits down and shows it to them. That number is the exact point where your investments generate more money in a year than your job pays you. And the moment you cross it, everything changes. Not slowly, not gradually, overnight. The way you think about your job changes. The way you handle your boss changes. The way you make every financial decision changes. Because for the first time in your life, you don't need the job anymore. The job becomes optional. And optional is the most powerful word in the entire English language when it comes to money. But here is the dark part nobody tells you. Most people spend their entire working life 1 or 2 decisions away from that number and never reach it. Not because they couldn't, because they didn't know how close they actually were. This video is going to show you exactly where that number is, the math behind it, the psychology that keeps most people from ever reaching it, and the exact sequence to get there faster than you think is possible. Let's start with the problem. You have a salary, and your salary has one fundamental design flaw that nobody told you about when you took the job. It has a ceiling. Not just a practical ceiling, a mathematical one. There are only 24 hours in a day. You sleep for roughly 8 of them. You have maybe 4 hours left after work, commute, eating, and existing. Which means your salary, no matter how high it gets, is always going to be limited by the number of hours you can physically trade for it. A doctor earning $300,000 a year is still trading time for money. A lawyer billing $1,000 an hour is still trading time for money. The moment they stop working, the money stops. That is the trap, not the amount, the structure. And until you understand that the structure is the problem, not the salary number, you'll spend your entire career running faster on a treadmill that was never designed to take you anywhere. Now here's where it gets dark. Your brain is not designed to understand this. Humans are wired for immediate reward. You work, you get paid. That feels real. You invest, you wait. That feels like nothing. Psychologists call this hyperbolic discounting, the tendency to value immediate rewards massively more than future ones. $100 today feels more valuable than $150 in a year, even though the math says take the year. This is not a character flaw. This is how your brain was built 40,000 years ago when survival meant eating today, not saving for next season. But here's the problem. The financial system was not built 40,000 years ago. It was built to take advantage of exactly that psychological wiring. Credit cards are designed around it. Monthly payments are designed around it. Lifestyle upgrades after every raise are designed around it. The entire consumer economy runs on one assumption, that you will always choose to feel rich today over actually being rich tomorrow. And for most people, that assumption is correct. Not because they are weak, because nobody ever showed them what they were actually choosing between. So, let me show you the math. The average salary in a developed country sits somewhere between $45,000 and $65,000 a year. Let's use $50,000 for clean numbers. That is your ceiling. That is the maximum your time can produce, before taxes, before expenses, before everything. Now let's talk about what investments can produce. The S&P 500 has returned an average of 10% annually over the last 50 years. Real returns, after inflation, roughly 7%. So the question is simple. At 7% annual return, what investment amount generates $50,000 a year? The answer is $714,000. That is your number. $714,000 invested in a broad market index fund generates roughly $50,000 a year, passively. Without you working, without you showing up, without you trading a single hour of your life for it. The moment your investment portfolio crosses $714,000, your investments beat your salary. You have crossed the line. The job is now optional. Write that number down, $714,000. That is the finish line. Now let's talk about how to reach it. Here is where most people make the fatal mistake. They hear $714,000 and they think, that's impossible, I'll never have that. And they close the video and they go back to their salary and they trade another year of their life for money because the number feels too big. But here's what they don't see. They don't see the curve. You already know about compound interest, but knowing about it and actually understanding what it does to a number over time are two completely different things. Let me show you what I mean. If you invest $1,000 a month starting today, after 5 years, you have roughly $72,000. Still feels far from $714,000. After 10 years, you have roughly $173,000. Getting closer, but still feels distant. After 15 years, you have roughly $325,000. After 20 years, $660,000. After 22 years, $714,000. You cross the line. Now here's the part that changes everything. Look at that curve again. It took 15 years to reach $325,000, but only 7 more years to add another $389,000. The second half of the journey takes less than half the time of the first half. The math is not linear. It accelerates, and the closer you get to the number, the faster it moves. This is the thing your brain cannot intuitively grasp, because your brain thinks in straight lines. Compound interest does not move in straight lines. It moves like a plane on a runway. Slow, slow, slow. Then suddenly it lifts off and the ground disappears beneath it. Most people quit on the runway. They never feel the liftoff. Not because they couldn't reach it, because they didn't know it was coming. Now, let's talk about the psychology that kills most people before they reach the number. There are 3 traps. Every single one of them is designed to pull money out of your investment account and put it into someone else's revenue stream. Trap 1. The lifestyle upgrade. You get a raise, you deserve to celebrate. The apartment gets nicer, the car gets newer, the subscriptions multiply, and the raise disappears before it ever reaches your investment account. This is not a discipline problem, this is a system problem. The solution is one rule. Every raise gets split. Half goes to lifestyle, half goes directly to investments before you ever see it. Not after expenses, before. Automate the transfer the day the raise hits. Your lifestyle improves, your investment account grows faster. Neither one suffers. Trap 2, the emergency that never ends. Something always comes up. The car, the medical bill, the family situation, and every time something comes up, the investment contribution gets paused, temporarily. But temporary has a way of becoming permanent when the next emergency arrives before you restart. The solution is not willpower. The solution is an emergency fund that is completely separate from your investment account. 3 to 6 months of expenses, sitting in a high-yield savings account, not invested, not touched, just there, so that when the emergency, and it will come, you never have to touch the investment account. The compound curve never gets interrupted. Trap 3, the comparison. Your friend buys a house, your colleague gets a new car, your social media feed shows people living at a level you're not at yet, and your brain starts asking, am I behind? And the answer your brain gives you is to spend money to feel less behind, which is the single most expensive psychological response in the history of financial planning. Because the people you're comparing yourself to are not building toward the number, they're spending away from it. Every luxury car payment, every oversized mortgage, every lifestyle purchase designed to signal wealth is money that is not compounding, is time that is not working, is distance from the line that looks like arrival from the outside. The scoreboard that matters is not visible on Instagram. It is a number in a brokerage account that nobody sees until the day it sets you free. So, let me give you the exact sequence, not a vague roadmap, the actual order of operations. Step 1. Build a $1,000 emergency starter fund before anything else. Not the full 3 to 6 months yet, just $1,000, enough to handle the small emergencies that would otherwise interrupt the plan immediately. Step 2. Capture the full employer match on your retirement account. If your employer matches 3%, contribute at least 3%. This is a 100% return on that money before it even invests. There's no investment on earth that guarantees a 100% return. This one does. Step 3. Pay off any high-interest debt above 7%. Credit cards, payday loans, personal loans. The interest rate on debt is a guaranteed negative return on your net worth. Eliminating it is mathematically identical to earning that return on an investment. Step 4. Build the full emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses. High-yield savings account. Done. Locked. Never touched unless actual emergency. Step 5. Open a Roth IRA. Max it every year. $7,000 in 2026. This money grows tax-free. You pay no capital gains when you withdraw it in retirement. The government will never touch the returns. This is the most powerful account most people never open. Step 6. Everything left